how does this stove change how humans operate with electricity in their homes?
It's putting 10,000 watts into this thing.
It's a freaking millisecond.
And I realized that if you could embed battery storage, you've now snuck this virtual power plant onto the grid into every single home. You can permissionlessly upgrade the grid by selling a better product.
Well, if your electric bill has gone up lately, you are not alone.
Energy usage is going up for the first time in decades because everyone really wants to use AI these days. These hyperscalers are adding like tens of gigawatts plus of new demand. Well, how do we get those electrons? One way is you build more generation capacity, but the other thing is you need to upgrade the wires too.
When we put wires in the walls of houses in America, we put very thin wires in because they were cheap.
And if I wanted to buy a modern appliance, very quickly you run out of capacity.
How do you upgrade transmission without actually upgrading the wires? And I realized that if you could embed battery storage into installed appliances in the home, stoves and ovens, water heaters, laundry machines, etc., we're able to decouple the energy input from the device's power output and surge power an additional 15,000 watts on top of what the grid can supply. I just put a pan on. This is like a liter of cold water. It's putting 10,000 watts into this thing. This will take like 40-ish seconds to boil, basically. So turn this back, and then you see how direct the control is. So like, turn it up again. Turn it up kind of fast. Turn it down.
It's a freaking millisecond.
So underneath here, there's an induction coil. That's basically an electromagnet. We put an alternating current through that at 25,000 times a second, roughly. That causes heating of the metal in the pan directly. But like, stuff around here, this is not actually hot. Second thing is like, well, how do you control it? Unlike every other induction stove on the market, we have continuous adjustability in almost like single watt increments of precision.
Can you reliably make a medium rare steak, perfect rice on your cooktop, fry an egg? And our system is so performant that you can do all those things every single time.
So how does this stove fundamentally change how humans operate with electricity in their homes?
I can go say, charge at 3 a.m. or something like that. This thing is gonna charge the battery to full at 3 a.m. It's almost like if it was convenient for you to schedule your commute and you could basically give everyone a 1-minute slot, the highway would be way less crowded than it is today. As soon as you can do that, Americans' relationship with energy changes. You essentially can choose when to grab the energy. You can choose to grab it when it's cheap and clean. And we can actually operate electricity markets a lot more like other markets versus these sort of quasi-monopolies they are today. Additionally, it also has an inverter in there. So this means that every device with a power cord that is now powered by Impulse Core builds out a global distributed power plant.
So virtual power plant is a thing that exists today. If you have a home that has energy storage of some sort, and you have a system that can dispatch that storage, and you multiply that over thousands of homes, you can say, oh, I have an opportunity to support grid stability. So I will tell some number of homes to dispatch a certain amount of energy back to the grid to make up for the missing energy that I would otherwise need to keep the grid from collapsing. But then you can take that same approach and you can apply it to smaller units. It's a neighborhood that's in a rural area. It's an apartment complex with hundreds of units.
So really what you're trying to do is find this subtle way to solve a large-scale energy problem.
That's the Trojan horse, is you get them in through a better user experience. Oh, cool, I cooked an egg and it didn't stick. I'm literally sous videing a steak here and it's just in a pan and we boiled water really fast. If you can convince people to install a cool stove because it's just better as a stove, you've now snuck this virtual power plant onto the grid. We can then transform the grid just by upgrading these devices to kind of the next generation of technology.
Once people are bought into this idea that appliances with integrated batteries in general can do these amazing things, people are more amenable to look at the other spaces in their home where they go, if only I had a battery here, I could preheat my oven faster. If only I had a battery here, I could dry my clothes faster. If only I had a battery here, like I could get on-demand hot water as quickly as I wanted. So I see a future where people are buying suites of Impulse appliances.
Impulse intends to be the next generation partner for the entire appliance industry. The legacy appliance industry pretty much does not build their own electronics, but they are very good at assembling things into very pretty boxes and getting those boxes distributed across thousands of retail locations. But as a startup, the advantage we have is we can really double down on the technology and build a fundamentally better system from first principles. So we basically offer all the core modules that go into this thing to major appliance manufacturers and say, hey, this is pre-certified stuff. We have the full playbook to let you ship the product. Do you want this performance? So we're in stores nationwide through Zephyr with the Zephyr Hypercore cooktop, which is a co-branded product that we developed with them. We're shipping with Thor close to the end of the year. And what's interesting and exciting about this is this allows us to get the reach of these legacy appliance players who have spent decades or even like century in some cases building out distribution networks in every city in the world. You can go to showrooms across the street from our office, and sooner rather than later there will be Impulse devices there without us having to even drive that distribution at all.
America has always been there at the forefront of every technological revolution before this. Everyone, back to the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. The electric tech stack, we are missing it because we're only talking about it in terms of climate. We are not talking about it in terms of power.
There are not enough climate superfans to fully electrify this country.
You know, on its face, what we're working on is very simple. Batteries exist, appliances exist, but marrying them in this way creates something that's so much greater than the sum of its parts.
I think this is the first time, like since Thomas Edison, basically, that we've had a chance to fundamentally change how we interact with energy.